Alright, let's take a look at every Premier League club and see which respective player will play 0 minutes of league football for that team this season. I'm so confident of these predictions that for every one I get wrong, I will personally write a letter of apology to each one of these footballers. But that is not going to happen because, as I said, none of these are getting a single Premier League minute under their belt for these sides this season. I guarantee it. Arsenal, Lauren Koscielny. Not a chance is Lauren Koscielny getting a game for Arsenal this summer. I'm sorry. You cannot, as a captain, throw a strop, refuse to go on a pre-season tour and expect to pull on the shirt that season. I'm surprised Unai Emery hasn't stuffed him in a mini microwave and dropped him off the London Eye, because that sort of behaviour is abhorrent. If Arsenal let Koscielny play this season, a 33-year-old grown man acting like a 13-year-old during their goddamn menstrual cramps, then they will be demonstrating that they're in serious need of a goddamn spine donor. Aston Villa, Jake Doyle-Hayes. Good old Jake Billy Doyle-Hayes. I'd love if this fella got himself a game for Aston Villa this season, because yes, he might look like a relative of Luke Chadwick, but he hails from Ballyjames in County Cavan. He's a 20-year-old midfielder and has never made a single appearance for Villa, so I don't think he's going to start now that they're in the top flight, but you never know. Bournemouth, Harry Arter. I'm taking a risk with this one. I could have gone for a boring one and named the Bournemouth third choice keeper, but no. Let's go for Scott Parker's brother-in-law. It was only a couple of years ago that Harry Arter was one of Bournemouth's best players. He's pulled on a cherry shirt over 250 times and helped them to 2 promotions, but having spent last season out on loan at Cardiff, he's clearly out of favour. I can see him getting sold before the opening day of the season. Brighton, Dan Burn. I know Brighton have had their problems in defence lately, but Christ above, Dan Burn is not the answer. The man made 14 appearances for Wigan last season and was not very good. I will be surprised if Graham Potter turns to the 27-year-old centre half this season, considering he is essentially a walking accident waiting to happen. Burnley, Joe Hart. Placed above, the 75-time captain England international will be doing well to even make the bench at Turf Moor. I think that's when you know your career is well and truly nestled in the back of the toilet bowl, and that it might be time to concentrate on just becoming a full-time shampoo salesman. Chelsea, Timo Bakayoko. Oh, how quickly careers fall apart. It says it all that Chelsea currently have a transfer ban, are desperate for bodies, any bodies, even to the extent that they're willing to give the likes of Kennedy a goal, and yet are still happy to let Timo Bakayoko walk out the exit door. It was only a couple of years ago the club were spending £40 million on him. Then again, that was the same summer they spent £35 million on Danny Drinkwater. Maybe the transfer ban is best for all concerned. It's like taking a credit card away from a drunk toddler. With Bakayoko displaying all the grace and ball control of a dying hippo, there is no way he'll be around Stamford Bridge long enough to get himself a game this season. No chance. Crystal Palace, Jairo Riedewald. I think this man was once a highly rated defender at Ajax a couple of years ago. Last season he didn't play a single minute for Crystal Palace, was nearly flogged to Celta Vigo, and just when you've nearly forgotten he ever existed, he was wheeled out on a pre-season friendly to get battered 6-2 off Barnet, just cementing in Roy Hodgson's brain that this man belongs nowhere near the Crystal Palace backline. So Riedewald will not play this season because I'm pretty sure Hodgson doesn't enjoy failure. Well, then again, he has made a career out of signing Paul Konchesky and putting Harry Kane in corner kicks, so you never know. Everton, Matthew Pennington. Everton are overcrowded with centre backs right now, even with Phil Jagielka leaving the club. Matthew Pennington has been at Goodison Park since he was 11 years old. He's 24 now and in danger of being squeezed out the door. He spent the last 2 seasons out on loan, with last year playing 30 times under Paul Lambert as he spent 9 months stapled to the goddamn foot of the championship. I don't rate your chances of playing in the top flight this season, Matt. Leicester City, Josh Knight. I know what you're thinking, who the hell is this guy? Right, Josh Knight is a 21-year-old defender. He came through the ranks at Leicester, having never played a league game for the club, and whose only experience in football is just the 8 games in League One with Peterborough. The only way he's getting a run out next season is if half the Leicester squad gets struck down by some sort of avian bird flu. Liverpool, Nathaniel Clyne. How unlucky is this? This was supposed to be the summer Nathaniel Clyne finally sealed a permanent move away from Anfield, in search of first team football. Not, he's just after snapping his knee in a pre-season friendly against Borussia Dortmund, ruling him out for 6 months. Even still, do you really see him featuring for the club after Christmas? Not so much. Man City, Aliki Mangala. You'd forget Aliki Mangala ever existed, never mind played for Man City. Christ above, that man is going on 6 years at the Etihad. 6 years? How? Who keeps giving him contracts? Christ above, and he cost 42 million as well. 42 million pounds for a lad who defends like his shoelaces are tied together. He spent last season injured on the sidelines and apparently won't be included in Pep Guardiola's first team squad. I'd be surprised if Pep even remembered his name. If this fella makes it onto the pitch for City in a Premier League game this season, I will honestly eat my own hat. Man United, Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Time is surely up for Timothy Fosu-Mensah at Old Trafford. Nobody spent last season on loan at Fulham as a defender can claim to have boasted a good audition tape, considering that side spent 9 months playing like a bunch of drunk squirrels. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the new kid in town. Surely Fosu-Mensah will be sold soon. Surely. Newcastle, Henry Slivett. How is this man still contracted to the club? Henry Saivet is a leftover from the Steve McLaren era, some musty cobweb that somehow hasn't been cleared out of the corner of the room. A dark reminder of past relegations. The man was signed over 3.5 years ago and has only played 5 league games for the club, and yet bizarrely started in the African Nations Cup final last week. Having spent 3 seasons out on loan, there's no way back for Saivet at Newcastle. Then again, I also would have thought Jack Colback would have been chucked in a lawnmower by now, but yet here we are. Norwich City, Aston Oxborough. Anyone ever heard of this guy? Yeah, me neither, but what a great name. He's a 21-year-old keeper, third choice at Norwich, has never played a single minute of professional football. Again, the only way he's getting on the pitch is if his teammates are struck down by some deadly virus. Maybe ring up that lad who served half the Spurs team that dodgy lasagna that one time. Sheffield United, Samir Carruthers. Oh, Samir Carruthers. The Irish midfielder who once got into trouble for taking a piss in a glass at the Cheltenham races. Christ above. I don't see him playing too big a part this season. None, in fact. He's already proven he's not a Premier League player. He played twice out on loan at Oxford United in League One last season. Yeah, it's not happening, Samir. Southampton, Guido Carrillo. Yeah, Guido Carrillo is still contracted at Southampton. The Argentine striker who cost them nearly 20 million quid in January 2018. He spent last season out on loan at Leganes, never scored in 10 games to the Saints, proving that useless Guidos aren't just restricted to Jersey Shore. He is definitely getting sold. Either that or shoved in a box and left outside a fire station. Tottenham, George Kevin Nkoudou. Apparently Tottenham have been trying to flog George Kevin Nkoudou all summer. The former Marseille winger is a plus to requirements at Spurs. 10 league appearances in 3 seasons says it all. He made just 3 league appearances for Monaco on loan last season, 8 for Burnley the previous year. Yeah, he's getting sold. Either that or just left to rot in the bucket under the stairs. Watford, Pontus Dahlberg. Okay, because Watford have a fairly threadbare squad, I can see most of them getting minutes. Not this guy though. Not Pontus Dahlberg, the third choice goalie from Sweden. Again, never played for the club before. I'd be very surprised if he started now. West Ham, Reece Oxford. Remember when Reece Oxford bunked off his homework to Mark Mazzarosa out of a football game when he looked about 14 years old? Well, where's he now? Yeah, he's still only 20, but he's definitely in the shadow of Declan Rice. Don't worry, Reece, I love you more. Then again, I love a dose of genital warts more than I love that man. In the 4 years since, Oxford has played just 7 more league games for the Hammers, and not many more out in Germany. I guarantee you he's not getting on the pitch for West Ham next season. Wolves, Will Norris. Third choice keeper for Wolves, 25 years old, not very experienced outside some seasons for Hatfield, Royston Town and Braintree in divisions like the Spartan South Midlands League Premier. You really think Nuno Espirito Santo is going to trust a former Cambridge keeper used to beating off saves from hungover plumbers with beer bellies from here to Wigan? With keeping goal during a Premier League match, he'd probably rather boil his own teeth.